the world famous.
You're listening to The Darren Green Show.
Right here.
Welcome again to another great episode of The Darren Green Show. I am host Darren Green, with my co-host Darren.
You're listening to The Darren Green Show.
I forgot the playing in the background. Come on, we got to get this. We got to keep it moving.
Welcome again to another great episode of The Darren Green Show. I am host Darren.
Go ahead.
Now, anyway, how you doing, Derek? What's going on?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. The sun came out, and so time is moving forward. So I've been pretty good. Got some bad news over the weekend, but you know, time moves forward.
Time moves forward. Well, before we get into it, please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tap the bell to get notified if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us at TDGS Media on Instagram and Twitter. And also, please subscribe to the Patreon for $2 a month. You'll get access to ad-free viewing and more. Information is in the description. So I know you said in the beginning that you had like some bad news on the weekend. I mean, how's the week been for you though?
The week has been good. So for those who follow on Instagram or Facebook, I lost my grandfather. My dad's dad passed over the weekend, and last weekend, like last Friday and Saturday. And so yeah, just been checking in on my siblings and talk to my dad. I think the funeral is tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna, when I got the call here, I'm probably gonna call again and just check on them. I think the viewing is today.
Okay.
And yeah, just been on Zoom calls and the regular, right? Cutting up on the social media. Hey, that's part of the gig. So
exactly.
But nothing major.
No, when the part you said cutting up on social media, I have been addicted to posting on TikTok lately. Like for real. Shout out to the people that are that may be listening, that are listening from TikTok or whatever. I gained like at least 47 followers last night because I made a post. And TikTok has this thing, like there's like different variants of people. Like there's people that do the dances, people that do like the trendy stuff. I'm like the type that talks, like that debates topics and stuff like that. So this week's topic was like, why do heterosexual women don't date bisexual men or whatever? So there was a big discourse on TikTok, and a lot of the people's responses were, well, the usual, we don't want to, I don't want to catch nothing, or I don't want you to I don't want there to be like cheating or you being with somebody that's, or this one girl that's on TikTok said, I don't want you twerking better than me. Child, I'm like, look, this.
Like, don't go to Africa then. You'll be disappointed.
No, but like for real. And I made a response because there are people, it's kind of weird because everyone has a conflicted opinion. And there was this guy that was bisexual and that was, I guess, was agreeing with the rhetoric that, hey, they don't have to date bisexual men either. And I'm a bisexual man, but I don't date gay men. I'm like, so what are you? How was that? How are you bisexual? What are you talking about? There's a disconnect.
Right. I'm like, so I guess he only dates bisexual men.
Well, he clarified in another video, I meant feminine gays. I'm like, okay, well, no, you didn't. Don't try to backpedal now, child. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of this. The stupidity is real there. But I love TikTok though. It's kind of fun.
Enjoy jumping down that rabbit hole.
Honey, I love the algorithm.
Look, been there, done that.
You said been there, done that?
Yeah, we got t-shirts and sweaters and all that shit from that. But
well, I think it's better because,
find your community more organically on TikTok than like algorithms like Instagram and Facebook suppressing things and all that.
Period.
TikTok is really a great place for content creators to literally build their audience organically and just, I have to get back into doing more TikToks. I haven't really been inspired to be in that particular vein as of late. But happy for you. Keep building, keep going. The more content you make, the more people will go from one video and they'll go check out the other one, and then they'll check out the other one, and they'll share.
Tap the link in the bio and listen.
Absolutely. Come on in. Okay.
And I think it's fun too. I feel like Instagram it got to a point where, and I know you noticed I have not been posting on either of my personal pages or my blog pages because it's like y'all shadow ban me because I've talked to other people and they said we don't see your posts at all. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how do you not see my posts? And I had to look up on it, and it's like they basically, when you post something on Instagram, they show it to the most people that will more than likely interact with they show those people the post first. And then if those people like it, then they'll show it to the rest of your followers. I'm like, man, if I done bust my ass to get like at least we got 5,000 followers. Shout out to that. And now y'all not showing it when I make a post, you're not showing it on their timelines. Like, no, these people are. I just don't get Instagram, but they want you to pay for the ads, which I'm not doing them.
But remember I told you, like last year when I realized what was happening with Facebook, because I'm part of the Facebook creators group, and they send us like these newsletters in our creator studio about like when the algorithm changes and you know how the content is being put out there. And I was like, well, if Facebook gets to pick and choose what my followers see, not even just from my business page, but even my personal page. I have my 5,000, you know, you get the cap and then you have people that follow your page. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to have this many followers and only 200 of them see my post on their feed. You know what I mean? And it's just so like weird navigating the wave. Like you can post something one day and it'll get like 3 likes, and then you'll make a post like 2 hours later and it'll blow up from nowhere and have 200 likes and 50
it's like,
shares.
What?
Like, what? You know, so it's just about learning how to play. I look at social media like playing video games. Those are my video games. And just learning how to beat them. You just got to learn how to beat the algorithms. But yeah, TikTok is so much more organic, and I think that's why they're the #1 social media platform, competing with Instagram now. And
because I'm on TikTok more than on Instagram.
Yeah, they beat out Snapchat, and now they're competing with Instagram. So, but yeah,
well, do better, Instagram, because
and if y'all follow me on TikTok too, child, I may give y'all something next week. We'll see.
You said, okay, you better, come back, come on. No, but yeah, I'll just be. It's fun on there, but and I also think just one more thing before we move on. I do think that I wasn't visual enough as I am on TikTok than I am on Instagram, and I think that's another reason too. So it's more personal, but yeah. Any listeners, hey, follow me on TikTok, Darren Green TV. You know what it is. You know the vibes. But anyway, let's get into these hot topics. So Biden's address to Congress. What was your initial thought? Oh, there you go. What was your initial thoughts?
I actually enjoyed the address. I think that it was a great departure from the Hunger Games esque type of administration we had previously. I think that he's very intent on
Not Hunger Games.
Right. I feel like he's very intent on trying to he's set his sights past Congress, like trying to get Congress to do what he wants them to do. And really speaking to what the American people like and what they want across the board, whether it's Democrats, independents, or Republicans, to pressure Republicans into, actually listening to their constituents. But I was watching CNN today before I started getting ready, and there was a study that came out, a poll that came out about 70% of registered Republicans still believe that the election was stolen and that he's an illegitimate president. So it's harder to sell them on his policy positions because they don't believe that he's the right person that should be leading the charge at the moment. But even though there's empirical evidence proving that this was the last election was probably one of the safest we've had in over 2 centuries. I think that he was very poignant about his American Families Plan and getting us what we need to recover. And I also like the way that he touted his accomplishments for his first 100 days. And, the fact that he was able to say, this is what I promised and this is what I delivered. And on the most part, he's exceeded what we expected him to do, considering the type of resistance he's been getting in the Senate. So I'm very hopeful that we will come hell or high water, see his plan come to fruition. This is a major moment for Bernie Sanders and the AOC caucus in speaking about education,
Mhm.
adding 4 more years of free education to the United States public school system, 2 years prior to kindergarten, and then 2 years of free community college post graduating from high school. And even though that's, people that, you can't please everybody. It was like, well, what about student loan debt forgiveness? And all this kind of stuff.
Right, like a lot of people did say that he didn't kind of have a
Right. And it's like he has time. We got him for 4 years.
Mhm.
He has time. But these were really, really big ideas, and he's literally gonna have to slow walk some of these in order for them to actually, to pass. But it was amazing to see Kamala Harris and Vice President Harris, excuse me, and Speaker Pelosi sitting behind him for the first time in American history to have two women sitting on the dais in
Powerful.
those positions was very moving.
Mhm.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. How did you feel about it as a college student? What
As
did
a
you?
college student. Well, you already know how what's up with these loans? Is up with these student loans? No, I think what he said, a lot of things that he said was we're finally getting a plan. You know what I'm saying? He's finally verbalizing what his plans are for this country, and that's what I've been asking for the longest.
Yeah.
And I know, people say, "Oh, well, he only been in there for what couple months." I'm like, I get it, but still, I would like a plan. I would like to see it. And we finally got it, and yeah, I'm with him. I hope that everything that he says
That's
comes
what,
to fruition. Like essentially what you said. I'm echoing what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it will. I'm very hopeful. But yeah, did you watch Tim Scott's response, Senator Tim Scott?
I watched Amanda Seals' response. She was like, "Nigga, shut the fuck." Wait a minute, cause no, come on now.
Amanda.
I don't think America is racist. What?
Yeah, we had a conversation last night. We went out for drinks, and I got a chance to speak to this young lady who we were talking about Amanda Seals' response to it, and the notion that or what it would even look like for us to have our president or our vice president to come out and say that America is a racist country. In those positions that they hold, they're obligated to always portray us in the best light, but they're also accountable for telling the truth. And I think that Kamala Harris's response, because Amanda responded to Kamala saying that, echoing Tim Scott about America not being racist. America is not a racist country. And I kind of had to take a step back and be like, okay, well, America as a whole, right?
Mhm.
Not a whole body of people, to declare that our whole country is racist is not something that would be able to land with a majority of Americans, because we have to think about who the majority, and them not most of them don't even connect to our history as far as what the race relations have been like. That's
Mhm.
and the second thing is adding on the truth, saying, we're not a racist country, just point out, just point blank. However, there is institutional racism, a systemic racism that has pervaded our country for years, and that is something that we have to address. We have to take that as an issue and then work on that issue. It's just like saying being a human is that mankind is a cancer, right?
Right.
As opposed to saying no, humankind, like we humans are prone to cancer. Like America is prone to racism, but it is an issue that we have to work on. America itself, calling it in this state racist, would be something that would be very counterproductive, especially when you've been charged with trying to unite the country during a time when racial tensions are so high, and we're on the wave of now this no Asian hate and stuff like that. So I think not really tiptoeing, but addressing racism from that particular position, especially for a Black woman as a vice president, is something that she has to be very, very calculated in how she addresses it. And I think she did an amazing job with it. The Black people who are pro-Black, who just see all this shit as racist, like the system from the top to the bottom is all, rotted. I understand the reaction of like, bitches, you crazy? Like, I'm embarrassed. This is embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed?
Well, with
it didn't embarrass me. I took what she said and I understood why she said what she said.
Yeah.
But Tim Scott, right? Huh?
You're talking about Amanda Seales, and my whole thing is with that.
We're all entitled to our opinions and reactions. I didn't react the same way Amanda did. I found it entertaining. I value her opinion, but
well, here's the thing. I think that he also is like he's Senate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's like one of the only like conservative ones that's like around. So I think he was kind of pushed to say that.
He is the Republican senator.
Yeah. And do you think that his party was like kind of pushing to be like, hey, say something negative?
I actually enjoyed his speech.
Okay.
I was raised in the conservative South, so I can kind of echo his values. I'm very liberal. Fiscally, I'm conservative, but I think that him speaking is, a great opportunity for him. It's a great opportunity for the Republican Party to show that they are trying to appeal to the Black community or to a more diverse community, and by allowing him to share his story and his position on it. And it also changes the tone of the Republican Party that's been leading this aggressive, like literally, anti-left, conspiracy theory run narrative. I think that Tim Scott kind of was able to level it a little bit, bring some more class to their side of the aisle. And I appreciated his speech. Did I agree with him? No. Do I believe that the Republican Party, at regardless of how they present their political theater, do I believe that they're going to be willing to actually listen to the American people? Are they going to be able to own the fact that they perpetuated this big lie and that they have ensued a wave of, voter suppression? Are they going to ever own up to that? I don't believe so. I do believe that they used Tim Scott to present this message so that it would be palatable to people of color, and to make those persons who identify as the Republican Party, who have been under the challenge of being seen as racist because of the races that are in their party. I think this was a way to kind of soothe them and make them feel more comfortable in their association with this party. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. What matters is when it's time for them to go back in those chambers and to create policies. I'm hoping that they will be able to come to some type of bipartisan agreement and giving the American people what they need and what we've asked for.
Yeah, and I think that's because I consider myself independent, and I just feel that I agree with what Whoopi Goldberg said when they first initially did like their recap on The View. It's like we need to come. I get it that you're Republican, Democrat, this and that. We need to come together because we are in one country at the end of the day, and yeah, I mean, working together, it'll be more productive than just, I feel like, fighting each other on policies or more morality, ideology, whatever the case is. I just hate that we can't get along. But whatever. I mean, it's not going to change. So we just want to move on.
Yeah, we just have to learn how to adjust and pivot into a space where if the goal, we have to find out what our common goals are. What the common, like what he said, common ground, common sense, and all that kind of stuff. But if we are truly trying to be the United States of America, then we have to start shifting our focus on the things we all need, and then dissecting these moments or places, the cancerous parts of our society, and start eradicating them and treating them and being open and honest about them. But as long as there are people who are in positions of power who are willing to be a part of the cover up and lie, and to make believe that it doesn't exist, it's always going to be there, and we're never going to get to any real resolution. But on the flip side, there's money in conflict, so we just have to remember what country we're in.
Yep.
And
country of capital.
Right.
Okay. Yes. Anyway, speaking of that,
what else? Oh, that else happened this weekend. Oh, the
Oscars.
Yes.
Did you watch?
I did. I watched. Caught like the last 30 minutes, last 45 minutes of it. I think
they on their shit again. They on their shit again, and I'm explaining why. But how did you? What was your thoughts on it?
Well, the parts I saw, I enjoyed. I think I got on when Viola Davis was given the award to Tyler Perry, so I got on kind of like late.
She did, and that's his first Oscar.
Yeah, it's like Tyler Perry has an Oscar, y'all.
No, and I'm I'm so happy for him. Yeah. You know how we had conversations about Tyler Perry. I'm very critical of his movies and stuff like that, but I love his story.
Yeah.
And I love that he's just like a black man that owns like a really big movie studio in Atlanta. And just I may have different opinions on the movies or whatever, but I love that he got his Oscar, and his speech was good. Really now,
movie studio.
What I kind of didn't like though.
Yes, I may have different.
What is going on? Why am I hearing myself? No, what I didn't like was the whole the Chadwick Boseman. He didn't win. He was first of all, they announced his award all the way at the end, and it had everybody thinking that he was gonna win, obviously. I mean, well, come on. And they gave it to Anthony Hopkins, which I didn't see that movie, but that it just, for me, it just rubbed everybody the wrong way. It just felt like they were trying to keep viewers on all the way until the end, and then to come and find out that he didn't even get the award at all. I mean, I don't know. It kind of was a little disrespectful. How did you feel about that?
Hollywood is run by entertainment, and everything about award shows, you have to think about the marketing, whether you're dead or alive. You know what I mean? I said that when they started the memoriam, I was like, they're gonna do Chadwick Boseman last, to make sure that people watch the whole way, to make sure they see him in it. And as far as the big awards, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Film, Best Director, they're usually always the last awards given at the Oscars anyway. Did I think that Chadwick Boseman was going to win another Oscar for his role? I did think he was going to get it. Was I disappointed that he didn't? Yes and no, because I wasn't really surprised by it. The Academy is good at responding to outcry from the public, but it's still it's still an Academy of the Arts, and it's peer given and peer driven. And so it really comes down to the people that are in it, and those persons who watch these movies, and these people who are behind closed doors campaigning for these films and these actors. And that's where these awards, that's just how they work. So if it was a People's Choice Award, I'm pretty sure Chadwick Boseman for the rest of the year is going to be receiving a lot of different awards for his role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. But I look at the Oscars just like I look at the Grammys. Those are peer given awards. So it's the people that are in the industry working with these people that are nominated that choose who gets these awards, regardless of what the public thinks and or feels about it. It's about the business, celebrating the business. So
yeah. And another thing that kind of ticked off a lot of viewers was Soul won Best Animated Feature Film. They awarded Pete Docter, but they didn't award the co-director Kemp Powers. Now they both were co-directors of Soul, and we know that Kemp Powers, I mean, he had a hand in some of the blackness of the movie. You get what I'm saying? So it's so they don't give it to co-directors. That's okay. But hey, I mean, like you just said, that's the Oscars for you. I was happy to, Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah,
Kaluuya.
yeah, I don't know. He won Best Supporting Actor in Judas the Messiah.
In the Black Messiah, yeah.
Yeah, her wins Best Original Song, Fight for You, and Ma Rainey, Black Bottom. It took home a couple of awards. I think one was like set design, dress design,
For the wardrobe.
and wardrobe. There we go. And they won another one as well. But yeah, okay.
He's like, the Oscars were there. Okay, girl. Thank y'all for coming.
First of all, I didn't even watch it because first of all, Real Housewives was on, and I'm like, oh dang, Housewives usually not. They usually don't show their shows when like a big award show comes on, but yeah.
Right. That's why. I mean, that's why I was late to the Oscars because I was watching Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Right.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll get into that later.
Right, but the films did what they needed to. Oh, and Netflix swept at the Oscars this year. Like for a streaming platform, a lot of their original movies got Oscars this year. So shout out to the streaming platforms. Y'all better get y'all movies on Amazon Prime and
okay.
And the stream.
I seen that Netflix movie that got that won. Okay, yeah. Shout out to them. Anyway, speaking of films, though, did you watch Secret Society? It's like an Amazon Prime movie.
I have not. Put me on. What happened?
Okay. So the film tells the story of two like girlfriends that are get it girls. They're scammers, and they scam a bunch of people from Philly, Atlanta, LA, you name it, or whatever, right?
Oh,
but the twist,
City Girls.
Huh?
I said, oh, it's a City Girls movie.
But the twist is the two best friends are actually transgender.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And the movies goes into the narrative that their secret comes back to hunt them, obviously, because the men start to find out that they're trans or whatever.
Okay.
And it kind of like, it ends like badly.
Right.
A lot of people
they get killed or something. What happened?
Well, yeah, I don't already say spoiler. Yeah, one of them got killed at the end.
Oh no!
Right, and it's like me personally, I'm like, what was this movie what kind of message were they trying to tell?
What were you giving?
Like, and I said this on a TikTok video. I think the problem that I have with this movie is that it shows two trans women through the lens of like the straight gaze, and I'm sorry, but like when I watched the interview that the creator, because this was a book.
Okay.
She interviewed T.S. Madison and virtually said that I had like one consultant from the community, the LGBT community, or whatever, to talk about this story, and they weren't the girls were not casted. Like there was no the women that were casted were actual biological women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which kind of like
that were telling a transgender story.
They were telling a transgender story.
Okay.
Yeah, and I seen that Chasing Reality has their Chasing Chat, and they had Shonda Brooks on, and she said that they asked her to be a part of the premiere. And it's like y'all had no LGBT involvement in the creation process of this movie, but y'all inviting all these transgender or LGBT influencers to promote your movie. Like it was a little off. Now just getting your information. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't seen the film yet. The information that you provided today, I feel like I guess it's a story that needs to be told, or it gives like a visual to a narrative that we have heard before. When it comes to the trans experience of survival. But I am kind of disheartened that they didn't create the story with the opportunity available for trans actresses to participate in it. And I'm kind of torn by that. We're all about equity, right? And equality. Yeah. And we also fight for, just like, Black people have to fight for Black stories to be told by Black people. I think that the trans fight now is that they want their stories told by people that have had the experience, and that also comes with equity of opportunity to monetize and to benefit from it, and then to use trans women to promote it when you didn't even offer them an opportunity to be in the movie. I just think that would have been a slap in the face. You know, this is like when they have they create these not say documentaries, but they create movies where they're portraying like gay characters of the gay black man or gay black male role in a movie, and it's always some straight actor who is like he acts over the top and all, you know, as if
Right.
that is the only style of black gay man there is, and that you couldn't find a black gay actor in Hollywood. Like most of those men are gay anyway. Just
And this movie played on the common misconception that trans women are the get it girls, they are the scammers. No, they're tricking these men into having sex with them, and when that's not really the case. And my whole thing about the movie, this is the response after all that has been in the news of like killings of transgender women. This is the response because it's only going to push the narrative that, hey, this is why y'all can't do that because you'll get killed. Like you can't hide who you are or whatever, this, that, and the third. But like, I think it's yeah, I get what you're saying with that. And then to have them and to have the people like the influencers be invited to the premiere so they can help promote your movie when none of them were involved. I mean, I watched the movie, the storyline, it was juicy. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh, okay, well shoot. Ooh. But like when I really sat and think about it, I was like, no, I mean, this could have been the perfect opportunity to show a movie about trans people in a different light, not the light that everybody else already has this preconceived notion of.
Right.
Yeah. And then there was another point that I wanted to make too. Because I'm getting my shit off today.
Right.
Because I was like, I kept silent throughout the whole week about this movie, and I'm like, no. Her response, because I want to make this known, she did say that the reason why she didn't cast the two women as cast the actual transgender women was because she felt like people wouldn't watch it.
Oh. What?
Yeah. Look. I encourage you guys, listen to the whole interview. Her name is Maisha. She did an interview with T.S. Madison. Okay. And that's one of the main reasons why she didn't do it. A lot of people speculate also that, hey, the male cast members probably wouldn't feel comfortable being in scenes like that with an actual transgender woman.
So you risk having transphobic males playing in a movie about trans women? That it doesn't make any sense.
Who is this movie for?
Right, that's the real question. And
then you have like little slapstick comedy. You have slapstick comedy scenes where you see her using the bathroom, standing up or whatever. We all know that was a comic relief. We knew what it was meant for. Okay, I didn't like that at all.
This sounds like a mess. I'll watch it for the mess so I can be enraged as well.
Child, pirate that shit. That shit is $10. I want my damn money back. It did not give what it was supposed to have gave. You have Vivica Fox on there too. Like, what the hell?
She was.
You gonna tell me you couldn't find nobody?
Vivica probably supplied all the wigs for the show.
Any words about it? They call this great.
I cannot. And then like, I love T.S. Madison, but like, she didn't even challenge her when she was interviewing her. Like, people was gonna feel a way about this. Whatever. I'm not blaming T.S. She getting that bag, but still, I don't know, child. Anyway, let's move on though, because I get to my rant. When I start ranting. So Wendy Williams versus Joseline. What's going on with that?
What's going on with it? Child, Lord, I don't know if you saw my little. We had like a
I've
mini.
seen you live.
Right, we had a little mini debate here in the house. It was really good. Like, challenging Wendy, is something we love to see. I mean, because Wendy is so. I mean, when we were talking about like when her movie came out, like we got a chance to hear her story and her come up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she has literally risen being a Black female, tabloid host, right? Like that's how she, how she became the Wendy Williams, right? And so to see people who are in the industry or entertainment, challenge her on how she treats her guests or how she chooses to paint narratives about certain types of entertainers. I think Joseline was speaking to Black artists specifically, Black entertainers, Black movers or whatever, part of Black culture. That Wendy kind of approaches the stories differently, a little more aggressively and more critically, than she does the others, right? And in watching the whole interview, Wendy's defense is that, you know, because I'm a Black woman, I am going to be more critical on us because I want us to do and be better. But Joseline's stance was, listen, when I've come on your show before, like you on this platform that you have, I don't feel celebrated. Like Joseline may not be the best speaker, but she made some very valid points. And if that's what her experience has been with Wendy, then I took it at that. Like she took the opportunity to express a concern. She's like, before we get started, like, I hope that you're going to give me my flowers today. I hope that this is going to be an experience where you actually celebrate the good things that are happening and not try to tear me down with negative stuff that, you know, that you've heard. Because that's usually been the story. Wendy will get you on and, you know, you may have something to promote, but she's going to get the tea. She's going to poke and prod. She's going to bring up things that are in the tabloids that you may or may not be comfortable with discussing. You know, and sometimes that can turn people off. And every time I think about Wendy Williams, I think about her being the Oprah of tabloids. And I also remember the Toni Braxton interview that Oprah did, and Toni speaking about how it made her feel. You know, it's like, it made me feel really, really small. And you know, I'm thinking about that when you're Black and you're in this business, you know how hard it is to elevate. And then when you are working with other Black people in this business, you want to see them as a safe space. You want to feel celebrated, and you want to, you know, want it to be comfortable, and you guys to be, you know, you want that feeling. And Joseline was just like, you don't give me that feeling, girl. And today, I just need you to give me my flowers.
Well, Joseline, you can go ahead.
Her delivery is
Joseline. Well, check the entitlement at the door. And when I seen this, and I'm gonna first say this. Remember that time we were talking about Kevin Samuels? We had Maxine on the podcast. You told us you came to this show and you know exactly what type of show it was and what he does, and you decided to come on there, and this is what happened.
Right.
Wendy Williams talks about celebrity gossip. She does celebrity gossip. Okay. I'm like, Joseline, you better be lucky that this wasn't radio Wendy. Okay, because she used to get in that ass. But like, you didn't even give her time to. You came in with the bull. You came in with guns blazing and everything. You didn't get. She probably was about to give you your flowers. Like, she came on the show to promote her cabaret show, whatever. You know, I get where Joseline is coming from. You know, a lot of people are pissed off about what Wendy says, but I've always seen Wendy to be nice to Joseline. I've never seen, and maybe I didn't see that episode, but I've never seen Wendy Williams actually like really like shade Joseline like that, because we would have known, because Joseline would have responded. She would have responded. It would have been back and forth. So I don't know where the whole I'm not getting flowers or anything like that. And I get what you're saying. Like, you know, we're too critical. Like, as Black people, I guess we're a little bit critical of each other, especially when it comes to people in that space, you know, Wendy Williams or whatever. And she doesn't do it to the other girls. And she's meaning like what, the white people, the white celebrities. Yeah, I see that. I can see that. I think Wendy definitely needs to keep that same energy.
So that's all she said. Just keep that same energy.
Keep
the same energy.
You ain't gonna come on my goddamn show.
Everybody knows what Wendy does, but also don't invite me on your platform and try to diminish me.
Okay.
So that's like, if I'm here because I also support your platform, right? Or I wouldn't be here either. I wouldn't come on you. I wouldn't agree to come on your show. You asked me. People will be writing in trying to can I get on Wendy Kim? No. Wendy has a whole staff who pulls their stories from tabloid media. They go with their lead story. They reach out and try to book people on their show. You know, because it's supposed to be a mutually beneficial experience for both parties. And Joseline was speaking to the fact that when Black people come on this show, sometimes you be trying to go low just so that you can expose or exploit these, you know, whatever their pain or trauma is. She was like, today, I'm hoping that you're here to give me my flowers today, because the last times I've been here, it hasn't always felt that way. That's all.
Mhm.
I'll take it at that. It was interesting to watch.
It was.
You got a clip?
You want to play the clip?
Play the clip.
All right, hold on.
Bust it.
Let me not bust it. Let me share the screen, child. Where is it at? There it is. So, okay. Were you able to hear it?
I can hear it.
I just said what I said. I don't apologize for anything. This is
Come on. Oh, she was done. Wendy was done. She was done with the situation. We rarely see Wendy Williams ever like push back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We went back and watched that Omarosa interview again just to see.
That was the only time.
Wendy got that wig turned a little bit. But even
you bring up
Roseanne, Van Jones, like some people don't be playing with Wendy. Like, listen, I'm here to do this, and we're gonna talk about the good stuff, and that's what we're gonna keep it at.
I definitely feel like Wendy should definitely keep that same energy. You know, if you're talking about these black artists or black celebrities like that, then keep that same energy with the white ones. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
I want to get right into news and music real quick because there was a lot of revelations. The On Me remix, Lil Baby featuring Meg Thee Stallion. Did you watch it?
I haven't seen it yet. It came out.
Here's a little clip from it.
Okay.
Come on, Wi-Fi. I know we're not acting like this. They said, child. They said, why she singing up in here?
Y'all don't see it for Megan and her vocals.
We don't see it for her.
We don't see it. We don't see it.
Visuals is cute.
Of course.
Visuals is, she looks really amazing. The video, oh my god.
Too. She also announced that she's gonna be taking a break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did announce that. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm like, Lord, that like she done got some new music. I gotta take a break, y'all. That man done dicked her down into retirement. I don't know what's
any words about it. They call this great.
I mean, hey, look.
Oh Lord, she said, y'all,
I cannot
break, child. I gotta recover.
I mean, look, I thought it was okay. I mean, it's when I don't know. I'm very, because people, when I talk about Meg, they're like, why you hating it? I'm like, look, because my best friend had came from me the other day, because I was like, well, somebody in the comments was like, this shit was like copy and paste lyrics. She was like, don't none of y'all be doing that to the male artists. I'm like, oh, I definitely do that to the baby though. I definitely say his music is copy and paste too. Don't do that. Don't try with me. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Hold on, we have some technical difficulties.
No, we're fine.
Are we good? Okay.
From what I'm seeing on my end, we good.
We good.
Low.
Anyway,
Just, I don't know.
Here's the thing,
so what's going on with Billboard?
Yeah, Billboard. How you feel about I know you sent me some of the nominations.
I'm seeing on my end.
I was like, okay, I mean, this is cute. A lot of people are upset that they kind of left out Doja Cat, and it's like, come on. I mean, come on.
I know that is kind of. I'm really surprised. Like Atlantic is really.
Sweetie on?
You said what?
I love Sweetie, but like that Kmart Target commercial wasn't there. That wasn't doing. Come on now.
Lord.
Doja had 2 songs. She had Say So, and she had Then Yellow K. What was that shit called? Streets.
Well, I mean, think Megan's currently been working more. She's saturated the market more than Doja. Doja has been giving stellar performances. She's working the hell out of that Hot Pink album, and I think Doja's gonna get her things. So I wasn't impressed about her not being nominated for a Billboard Music Award. Wasn't she up for one last year too?
She was.
Didn't Doja get Best New Artist last year at the Billboard?
I don't remember. See, I don't think I even watched the Billboard Awards last year. It wasn't, my queen wasn't nominated, so it's like, I don't really care.
Yeah, so let me see. I like to fact check.
Right.
That
That was a pandemic award show too.
Let's see. Oh snap! They say Doja Cat was part of the nominations. I see one nomination. They haven't announced the winners yet. But I'm looking at the full list. Doja Cat is up for Top New Artist.
Still?
She's in the same category with Gabby Barrett, Jack Harlow, Pop Smoke, and Rod Wave.
I think the female rapper part she's not on.
Right. Now that part is weird for her not to be in that. But most people look at her now as a pop artist because she sings more than she raps. But she also, she does both. But she's definitely moved into that pop lane.
The pop era definitely kicked in a little early.
And she's also nominated in Top R&B Artists with Janae Aiko, Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, and The Weeknd. She's also nominated for Top R&B Female Artist.
Oh, this for this year?
Yes.
Oh.
In the top rap category, it's Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, and Saweetie.
Yeah, top female rap. I think that's what people were upset about then. Okay, yeah. All right, my bad, y'all. Shit.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Meg is going to take that.
Yeah.
Meg's gonna
I don't know. They might do something. They might give it to Cardi.
For what? For that one song? For
WAP?
For Up?
WAP?
They give it to her for WAP. They got to give it to Meg too.
Okay.
Gotta share that. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I can't wait. I like watching the Billboard Music Award performances.
It's interesting. Yeah.
I'm still getting my life from Doja's performance last year. Still, like the girls aren't seeing her performance. That's why Saweetie is going to development camp.
You said Saweetie going to.
Saweetie,
you heard about that? Oh my God! I was like,
child. You know what? I'm gonna take some time and I'm gonna work on these dance moves. I'm gonna work on my pen a little more because I gotta get. And the fact she's even nominated, she's a competitor now, so she got to go in there and you got to kill it. You got to kill it like the other girls killing it.
Exactly.
You come in here giving us no Hannah Montana performances.
Not Hannah Montana. Anyway, well, we can't wait for that. Now, the DJ Khaled's new album came out I think last night or whatever. A lot of songs on there, a lot of features. I know Jay-Z, Drake, Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi. Just a whole lot of people was on this damn album. Did you listen to any of this music?
Nope.
Well, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Let me see where my my playlist. There's 3 songs that I kind of like on there. It's the one with Nas, Jay-Z, and I think Nas and Jay-Z. Then there's Pop Star with Drake and Body in Motion. It got Bryson Tiller on there. Oh my God. Other than that, this damn album is a mess. I'm sorry. Who mastered this album? For real, I'm literally listening to it from start to finish. I have to turn up and turn down my volume on each. I'm like, what the hell, child? Y'all trying to make me deaf? I'm like, what is this? And then some of the songs, because a lot of people are talking about this Big Paper. That's the one with Cardi on it or whatever. And I'm like, girl, she's not even.
The who? That wasn't even on the track list.
It wasn't even. It was a surprise. Oh,
right. She said she had to do it within 48 hours. She had to
a mess.
I was like,
yeah, she did write it.
I had to go.
She wrote that shit.
Right. I had to go write this within 2 days. I got the beat a couple days ago, and I had to go
and calling the bitches your sons. What? First of all, come on now. What are we doing? I know you're not calling nobody your son.
Listen, everybody following the pink print.
Who? And then like Body for My Body or whatever. Like she took that bar from that Chance the Rapper record with Nicki on it. I'm like, come on now. And then everybody on Twitter, oh my God, Twitter, y'all are really some sheeps, like for real. Y'all over here having her trending and saying, oh my God, this is Barty back in the mixtape days. Nah, this is Nicki back in the mixtape days. Let's really get into it.
Oh Jesus.
What do we do? No.
What's going on here? It's really weird.
It was getting it's getting really I'm gonna let y'all listen to a little snippet of it because I got it saved on my Instagram. Rapping off beat too, like what? Honey, miss me with that Dr. Seuss. But anyway,
She had to throw pumps at a bitch for all the time she was shaded. Is that what she said?
Yeah.
She had to throw pumps. Somebody when she threw the shoe at Nicki at the show.
Oh, that's what she meant by that?
I don't know. I couldn't hear what she said. You know, I don't really. I have to
Don't
listen to probably like 3 times now, so I know what the hell she's saying.
That ain't it. But I will give her E for effort because she did try to change the flow and cadence a little bit. Like this sounds different.
Well, I think a lot of people were saying that it sounds like Cardi back in her mixtape days when she was writing her own stuff. So that may be a good thing for her. For the long-time fans.
The song with Meg on it was okay. I mean, I thought it was all right. It was a lot of and then like I felt like everybody was like changing up their flow and stuff like that. Everybody was kind of rapping differently on this album. I'm like, what's up with this?
I thought you wanted them to be versatile, Darren. You gotta pick a side. Do you want them to be versatile or not? Isn't that what you just said? Isn't that what you said 3 episodes ago? I need the girls to switch. I need them to switch it up.
Everybody talk about the girls. I'm talking about the guys now. I'm talking about the guys.
Oh, they always sound the same. That's their thing. You find what works and you stick with it. That's the formula. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't. Well, we'll see how it's called Khaled. We'll see how that does in the course of a couple weeks. But I was like, child, maybe I'm into like a more structured. Like I'm not used to listening to DJ albums because it's like a whole bunch of shit. Like
right, just a whole bunch of it's literally like a party on a CD. It's like a mixed CD.
Right.
Doesn't really tell a story. It's just a bunch of noise and
right.
Who are these people?
You said who are these people? Okay. I did really like the Jay-Z and Nas record. It's really good seeing them two together in a song. I mean, I know they squashed their beef like years ago, but still, it was good. Like, it reminded me of like old Jigga. Like, come on now. Like, lyricism is had, and even the one with Meek Mill. I will say that Meek Mill, like him or hate him, he got bars. So yeah, shout out to those songs. But let's get into Real Housewives of Atlanta real quick. Part 1, the reunion. Did you watch it? Well, yes. I know you did because you said it in the beginning. What was your thoughts, real quick?
I think that everybody looked great. You know, I think that it was just like I predicted. I knew who was going to be sitting in the queen seat this season, and
so was Kenya.
Huh?
I said so was Kenya. Like on the other side. It's always the person sitting next to Andy.
Right. So, like I said, it was nice to see the person that was going to be in the queen seat, which is the person that's on the left of Andy, on his left. And Portia looked really good. But I said all the girls looked good. I think it was weird that none of well, I mean, I guess it wasn't weird that of the husbands, the husbands, their counterparts, that Drew's husband was the only one that was called to the carpet this season. Like everybody else was at home watching it. You know what I mean? Like they usually have a segment where they bring the husbands out.
Right, right.
But he came out in it was like the first episode.
Is this a 3-part or 2-part?
It's a 3-part.
Okay, good. Because I was hoping, oh my God, I was like, is this gonna be a 2-part? Because like, what are husbands?
It's gonna be a 3-part, I'm sure. But yeah, so we finally got the answers about what happened in Tampa. Portia conducted herself really well when it came to the whole Kenya trying to discredit her work that she's doing with Black Lives Matter and the movement. And Toya at the end came and set a fire. So we were like,
Hey, SpongeBob.
right. So we're like, hey, SpongeBob. Like so.
Yep.
It's
Drew was annoying. I'm sorry.
Drew was annoying. I love
She
Drew.
is. She just oh my God, like everything is like, you don't understand what you did. You talk about my son, you need to apologize to my son. Girl, anybody talk about your child. This scene was cringy. Let's be real. I mean, I felt like
I related to her son. He was just like, he was so unbothered. He was like, I mean,
Yeah.
I get, like, that's a real experience for him.
but I can see how people can be like, ooh, like it's a little awkward to watch. I mean, it's not like it's a bad thing to say that. Like, it's like we're not coming for her. Well, Kenya wasn't coming for her son. She just retweeted the damn tweet. You just wanted to have a moment with Kenya because, like I said before, and I predicted on the show, I was like, child, she's going to be a one-season wonder. If she comes back, she'll do an Eva. She'll do an Eva and come back another season, but then she'll be 2 seasons wonder. I don't see her coming back. I don't see it for her. She's not like, she just tried too hard. I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
She tried harder than Toya. Toya was a mess.
It was more natural with Toya though.
Because that's
and maybe it's
right. She's just a walking.
She presented herself like that crazy woman. I mean, Drew did her 180.
Same excuse that people present for Kenya. It's like, that's just who she is. Like, come on. Everybody knows this is the reality TV show. Everybody's going to be going for their moments. Everybody wants to be able to get that contract at the end of the season so they can come back and make some more money, because she's not making that kind of money on YouTube. So like I said, everybody looked amazing. Everybody was gorgeous. Have no idea what LaToya had on. And I can't wait for Marlo to come out here, because I'm looking like, Marlo, you are like, you know, and not being ageist or anything, but girl, I'm like, when I was younger, my grandmother was in her 50s. I can't imagine my grandmother wearing something like that on national television. It just didn't. I don't know, but we'll, you know, Sunday we'll get to see the second part and, you know, get more of the drama, because I think the next episode we get more of the LaToya Drew situation.
Oh yeah, it's all the SpongeBob, so you know they're gonna have to make that.
They got to. And I think that's another reason why they'll both will probably be back next season, is because they were able to create a narrative between the two of them outside of the rest of the group that people are entertained by. So that's a good move for a newcomer, because most of the new people come in, they're kind of sheepish. You don't really hear them, and they have to try to find their way in the group and figure out, you know, who to be friends with and blah, blah, blah. I liked how Drew came into the group. It's like, I don't really know any of you women, and I'm giving everyone an equal opportunity to show themselves. And when things aren't lining up, I'm going to say something. She kind of moved like, she kind of did like Sheree, even though Sheree was part of the friend group. Sheree kind of moved that way too when she came back to the show when they were new girls, and she was like, well, I don't really know you, but I'm gonna watch you. It's like, but didn't you say such and such?
I don't see that at all. Sheree,
the bone carrier. I think that
Drew's the bone carrier.
I feel like Drew's gonna be the one that holds them accountable for the things that they say. Because that's what she did. Like, Drew was like, wait a minute, didn't you say you're not drinking? Didn't that why you're not drinking? Because you said X, Y, and Z? Or wait a minute, Kenya, like, we were just say, wait, last night when Kenya was upstairs, we were all upset about blah. Now today we all kick in. What is happening?
But then you can't get mad when someone comes after you, like when somebody comes for your neck after that, because then it's like, well, what did I say? Like, girl, no, you basically baited her. Well, whatever.
She's great for the show. It's entertaining. So make sure you tune in and watch.
We will definitely be talking about part 2. We got some going.
Well, speaking of reality check, there is a reality series that is on YouTube right now that blowing me away. I've been watching some of the other shows in the franchise, the Chasing Reality franchise, and today we have a very special guest that's going to join us. He is a journalist. He's an author. He has been a radio show host. He's been in plays. And right now he is serving as the executive producer of Chasing LA. He's a former cast member of Chasing Atlanta. We would love to welcome on to the Darren Green Show, Quentin Harris.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I love that introduction.
Hey, welcome.
Hey.
Welcome, Q. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. Now, I know that you're from North Carolina, but where are you stationed now? Are you still in Atlanta? Or are you in LA right now?
Currently in California, yes.
In California, in the sun.
In the sun.
Okay.
He's looking nice over there.
I'm currently missing today. It's just a nice day out there.
Nice
So as soon as I get this, I'm gonna put on my little Daisy Dukes and go outside.
Oh, right, because I got mine. Yes. Sun's out, buns out. Listen, I totally support it.
What's happening, guys? Thank you guys for having me.
You're very welcome. So I just tweeted you over the past couple of weeks about getting you on the show. Last week I had to go in a little bit like, wait a minute. I did. You can go back and watch it. I said what I said. I was like, no, wait a minute. Now we done set this interview up, and we got all excited. We ready to get the tea, and life happens, and I appreciate you for reaching back out to us and agreeing to come on today. So for our viewers and our listeners out there in Spotify land, Pandora, and all that good stuff, we want them to get an opportunity to know who you are. So just give us a little background and let the people know who you are.
Well, first of all, Darren and Prince, I want to apologize for not being here last week. But thank you guys for inviting me back in your domain this week. So I appreciate that. But just a little bit about myself. I am a content creator from a very, very, very small town. I took my talents, like I said, on LA. I took my talents to the big city of Atlanta. And that's where people knew me. But I've always been working in this industry for a minute now. When I started my radio show is when I got Q in the street and stuff like that. But I've been in the industry for a minute now.
Yeah. So wait, how long? So he says in a minute. What did you do first? I know you have a lot of different titles, and I was looking over your bio, and I know you've written 2 books. You've been in 2 plays. I mean, you've worked with Tyler Perry, Demetrius Smith. So what was the first thing that kind of put you into the entertainment arena? Like, what was your?
That is the hardest question to answer every time I get it. So I would have to always give, like, I was that kid who was like screaming out "Happy Easter" at like the church program as like the little kid. So I would say I got my start there. I didn't really like take any acting classes. I didn't take any journalism classes when I got to Atlanta. I was that person I like to network. That's why you always hear me say that word on Chasing Atlanta. I kind of started just going out and putting my name out there, and that's how I got Q in the streets. But I guess what was my first gig? That question is so hard is because like you said, I wrote books prior to Q in the streets. I did a lot of things prior to me moving to Atlanta. Like stage plays, like you just said. So that's why I've been in it for a minute prior to people actually knowing who I was. So I've been putting that groundwork in for years. But when I got to Atlanta, and of course got on Chasing Atlanta, is when like the world knew.
Now, I did want to circle back to you doing radio because I'm a big fan of radio. I love.
I see this mic is set up here.
So what was that like? Like, how did you get into it?
Oh wow! So how I got into I sit up and I talk about my radio show. I love my radio show. I miss radio. I'm like you, Darren. I love radio. I love running my mouth. I was not a problematic kid. I got in trouble for talking. All of my write-ups in school was either talking or singing.
Same.
Right. How I got introduced to the world of radio was I was going to different events in Atlanta, and one particular night I was sick, not feeling well, and I was at this red carpet. I went with my homegirl. I never forget it. I was working, and I went to an event, and Jermaine Dupri was there, and his correspondent had fell through at the time, and so he walked up to me. Now I'm got on like my toboggan, a scarf, a big coat, and I'm at this like industry event, and so for him to walk up to me, I don't know who told him like, oh well, Q's wanting to do that or whatever. So he walks up to me, he's like, hey, somebody told me you're a radio personality. Would you like to do this event? And at the time, that's when Jermaine Dupri had the show where he's like working with little kids.
With the rappers, with Mulatto.
With the rapper. So Mulatto
the game,
was my first interview. I still have the pictures, I still have the videos, I still have everything from that night. Mulatto was my very, 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 very first like public interview. And once I did that interview, Jermaine Dupri afterwards was like, yo, you're really good. I think you're dope. You need to find somebody. You need to like dig in radio. Cynthia Bailey had just told me the previous things. I took one of her classes like a month prior to. So when Jermaine Dupri walked up to me and told me that, I think a week later, I was sending out casting calls for Q in the Streets. And I had like 50 people come out. and I chose 4 other co-hosts. And from that point, I just kept going. I just took that formula and I kept working. I kept going back to those same events. And any celebrity or whoever I saw, I was getting the information, contact, and I was like, hey, let's work. Let me interview you. Let's talk about what you got going on. And it wasn't just celebrities. I was reaching out to just what you guys did. I was reaching out to people like me. That's how I even got on Chase, and I'll start on that in just a second with Lauren. I was reaching out to other people. I was networking across the board. So I was interviewing independent artists. I was interviewing everybody. So, and then I did it for like 4 years.
Right. So see now, I'm glad that you segued and you mentioned that working in radio kind of led you into the network or into the circle with people, part of your power of 3 with Miss Lauren England.
Yes.
So what was that like for you, going from just, the kid just trying to gig and network and going and agreeing to participate on Chasing Ellen? You were on, I think, the first 2 seasons, and you took a break and you came back for the 4th season, correct?
No, I've been on since I did season 2, season 3, and season 4.
Okay, so you did have 3 seasons, but you came on season 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I came on.
So what was that like for you, transitioning from an on-air personality into a reality star? Because I know that people say walking into reality TV is a totally different animal.
I'm gonna be honest, like it still is like a shocker to me, more because I didn't think of myself like a regular schmegular guy. And so even when I do reality TV, people can see me out in public and it's still shocking to me. So even me sitting here talking to y'all, like, this is my life. Like, I just work hard every day and I just don't get caught up in what some others get caught up in. So for me, I'm just a regular schmegular guy, so I don't even look at it like that.
Do you think that it's harder, because now that you're no longer with the cast for Chasing Atlanta for now, you have moved since the reunion? Because I've literally been.
Look, who your favorite, and not me just because I'm here.
You said what?
Who your favorite, not me just because I'm here.
Oh no, my favorite cast member. My favorite, God. So I know who I don't like. I'll say that. But like I know which cast members that left really bad.
Mess with.
Well, not about mess. I don't mess with a lot of people. I love people, but I don't look forward to like messing with everybody because I know how my personality is. But there were just some people that kind of like left a bad taste in my mouth, the way that they moved on camera, like how you move. But I love Oliver. He is funny to me. I fell in love with Lauren's story. Even watching from season 1, all this in that hotel party. At first, I was like, I don't know how this is. How this is gonna go in the housewarming. I'm just like, this is a mess.
You a real fan? You went way back.
Oh yes. I'm like,
no, he talked about it a lot.
Yeah, I've been telling people to like, y'all gotta watch Chasing Atlanta. Like, you gotta watch. I haven't seen it. You gotta get into these not say characters, but like get into these people who are really out. Some who are really trying to chase their dreams. I used to live in Atlanta. Like my first time actually being part of a choir or recording demos was when I lived in Atlanta. And so I felt connected to their stories, and just watching them do it, it felt good. But you, of course, Dominique, kind of, sort of, love, Tag. Yeah, but y'all have a lot of different characters, and they have different personalities, and so you just have to see how the mix goes. So with that being said, with you being a part of the show for so long and bringing in new members and seeing how that particular part goes, what was the most challenging for you as far as maintaining that sense of like, I got to be me, but I also know that this is a show and I got to play up to camera. Like, were there any moments where you felt that you had to play up certain situations for the entertainment value of the show?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so I'm going to answer honestly. For me, no, I've never really like, oh, the cameras are rolling, I'm about to turn it up. Like, I think if I was to have a moment that was not my best moment, or a moment where I feel like, okay, now when we get there today, all bets are off. y'all gonna see another side of Q would have to be my previous season, season 4, the all white party.
Right.
You know, so I think that would be a moment that I knew that I went in with like
Intention.
yeah, right. But I didn't like necessarily go in like, oh, the camera's just rolling. I'm gonna turn up today. Like,
Okay. So now that we've transitioned from being a cast member, why did you want to leave Atlanta to go to LA? Like, what was
what
it?
made me want to leave? Ooh, okay, so that's good. So what made me want to leave Atlanta was I felt like, and this is no shade because people work really hard in Atlanta, but I felt like I wanted more. And I felt like when you're in Atlanta, you become this rat on the same wheel with everybody else. Like it's this rat race, and nobody's going nowhere.
Right.
And it's no shame. It's kind of like, how do I elevate myself? How do I compete with the Emiles, the Karama Browns, the Justins that's on he's on E! News. And for me and Darren, you know this for our type of work, in Atlanta, everybody do it. So I wanted to, one, put myself in a position with the people who I know are bigger than me, DJ Richie Scott, you know, those bigger names that are out here in Atlanta. I wanted to see if I could compete. Now, when I got out here, when I got to California, and I just want to take a break. Like I was working in Atlanta for 3 or 4 years, hard, back to back to back. I was nonstop filming the show. I was queuing the streets. I never had a break, even when it was just me. So I just wanted to just release. You know, I went through some personal things that weren't the best. So I just wanted to come out and take a break. However, moving out here, the pandemic hit. So I was like, I can't compete with nobody, and the pandemic hit, so I had to get my wheels turning because I don't like walking around with no money in my pocket. So
now you're not out there doing part-time gigs at Hamburger Mary's, are you?
and if I did, because I was doing that, and if I did, we're gonna talk about the show in just a minute. But
right.
So that's what brought me out here to Cali. But like I said, the pandemic hit, and I had to think quick. And I had to think fast. There was really no competing. Nobody was working. So that's what made me create Chasing LA.
Good. So how did you go about piecing this show together? Like, did you have to pitch it to Dario and like, hey, I'm moving and, you know, I think, you know, we can go and find some people. Like, had you already started like, you know, trying to like build your cast before you moved? Or was it something that you really
These are good questions.
Listen, I'll do this too. Like, listen. Look, I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. There was a cast prior to this cast that we had.
There was a cast. There was a cast already. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. I'd heard something about that. Outside of the fact that Chasing LA, the name of the show, there was also a show that was already out from 2012 to like 2015. That was with Emil. What's his name?
Emile. Yeah, I just said it. Emile.
Right. Yeah, and he had, you know, he was doing like interviews and like bringing on like.
But I think he was different. I think it's just the same name, and he didn't. And this is no shade because I actually look up to Emile. Child, he didn't.
Oh, see, for all my baby dolls out there listening and there, please make sure you patent and copyright your content, please, because
they got shit. I was like, oh, it's not copyright.
Beyonce will be upon us. I like that and I want it. I want that. Mm-hmm. So with the cast, so how did you go about? Did you have like casting calls? Did you do like meetups, like networking parties, and kind of like, okay, this person go with this person, or did you do references like, hey, I have somebody that I work with who is in wardrobe, and I think they'd be good for the project you're working on. Like, what was your creative process in putting this particular group of people together?
So before I get to this group, I'm gonna start with the first group. So with the first group, how I got everybody together was, of course, I was new here, but of course, I work in the industry. I know a couple of people. So I was pulling on a few different strings, like, hey, who do you think would be good for this particular project? I reached out to my publicist friend, Aaron Dukes, who works with freaking everybody. You name him, he like runs Fashion Nova, he knows everybody. So anyways, we started piecing together some different people, and it just wasn't meshing well. And I started realizing I didn't want to be in front of the camera. So I took a step back because I'm just like, I feel myself getting ready to go back into the opinions of people coming out here to Cali. I didn't want to come out here and focus on that.
Right.
That's why I left.
You being the new boy in town and like having to deal with that.
So and then just to piggyback off that as well, So how I came out with pitching it to Dario. So Dario made me finish my Atlanta contract before we could even get started on LA. So he was like, you need to do the reunion. You need to do everything before I would even hear any type of conversation. But he actually allowed me to start doing things prior to, because I felt like he could trust me. He could trust the business man in me. And so the first cast, I took a step back because I realized I don't really want to do this. So I took brung in new producers, and then we put up a casting call. And I was like, I don't want to go fishing for people. If you want to be on the show, you're gonna have to come audition for it. And that's how I decided.
Okay. So what was the transition like from being a cast member to now being the producer of the show? What is that?
I'm still trying to transition from talent to producer. People are still expecting me to be on Chasing LA this season. If you see me on Chasing LA, child, I'm outside of my first scene with the Power 3. I'm breaking up fights and jumping in and sliding people out and doing all that type of stuff. So as far as the transition, it's been fun because it's still family. I'm still working with Dario. I'm still working with the Chasing team. It's just on the other side of the camera, but being a producer of a radio show, you know, it's kind of the same thing. Instead of just listening to it, you actually watching it on the TV. So I've been here before. It's just a new realm.
It's like becoming a manager after being talent. You're like, you know what? You've done it. Bring on the new girls now. All right, so we're only 3 episodes in for this season, for the first season of Chasing LA, and there's already been 2 fights and a makeup. So it's off to a very exciting and/or rocky start. And I love the fact that you all do the premieres now on YouTube, where people can literally sitting and waiting until 8 o'clock here on the East Coast Sports Card, and just looking at the comments and watching people engage with the show. For this to be your first time as a producer of a reality TV show, the comments probably hit a little differently than it does when you're being critiqued as a talent. Speaking of critiques, one of the fairy godmother now of, I guess, Chasing Reality franchise, Money from That, her first appearance in the second episode, critiquing the first episode, was relatively harsh and personally critical of you. Now, we got to update this last episode about y'all were spoken, but from your side, how did you feel about the critiques, not just of her, but of other people who are talking about the production value? I thought that it was on par and like on brand, like with the rest of the series, but for some reason, because it was you producing it, I guess the expectation was that it was going to be, I don't know, like a Lifetime production, or I don't know. Right, you know, like, but what how did the comments land?
I'm about to pull these Bravo producers out my ass.
Yeah, you know, like but how did you take the comments? How did you take the feedback?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Well, first of all, I have not been indulging in the comments as much. Being talent, I've learned to stay out that comment section if you want to go to sleep.
Right.
For me. For me. So I have not seen all the comments for episode 2. I've been gazing. Of course, my ears are open to the streets. I'll say this before I go that route. I'm very proud of the work that I put out, because I put a lot of hard work, dedication, and time into this project. I'm proud of my talent. I'm proud of my team, my cast, my crew. I'm proud of everybody that's involved in this project. When it comes down to the critique from Imani Benzer, I have always respected Imani, and I still do. I respect Eric, who is under Imani. I do think I have to agree with Darren, though, when he was talking about Joseline, and I was listening to the Wendy Williams story that you guys had earlier, just how just a little friction and stuff like that. I'm just like, what is happening? So that was my reaction when I was watching it for the first time. I felt like Wendy. I was looking at, I called Dario, like, what is happening? So I said all that to say, it's harsh, but I do want to bring clarity to a few things. Now, I'm going to talk about it more in my YouTube channel, and we're going to go there. But I would like to say, I felt like her comments or her critique was a little off for me because Imani Van Zant is a associate producer of Chasing LA.
Oh, okay.
So it's very mind blowing to me, and it's very disheartening. It's very, in my opinion, distasteful.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is because I felt like, and I'm gonna talk about me in a second.
Yeah.
It was disrespectful to my cast because they never met you.
Mm-hmm.
They're meeting you, and yeah, they understand your role. But for you to call King Pang a washed up Armand Wiggins, we're gonna talk about it on my YouTube channel. But you were in the production meetings to say, hey, I like this particular guy. He's around energy of Armand Wiggins, so he's either going to bring that energy or he's either going to bring Armand on the show. King Payne did both.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
King Payne did both and still got tore down. So it's just a little mind-boggling to me that you find time to say, oh, I don't know what any of them do, and if I'm going to tear this show down every week, then I have the right to do that. That's what she said this week. And then last week is, oh, I'm not a good producer. I'm not this, I'm not that. But oh, you don't know any of the cast members. You helped me choose all 10 cast members because you guys originally, y'all heard me say there was a first cast. I took a step back, brought in a whole new team of producers. Okay, and I'm gonna iron this thing out real good in my
Okay.
YouTube video.
We'll be
because
watching that too.
what I don't like is, oh, if things were amazing, which they're going to get to, and I understand we had a few hiccups episode 1, but let's not act like the show was just that horrible or I'm a horrible producer.
Right.
This is a horrible show.
Right.
Because that's not fair to me. It's not fair to the talent. It's not fair to our viewers. Imani Van Zant's position is to, yes, be honest, but I feel like we are a growing brand. And just how y'all said earlier, you will feel more comfortable in the room with that other Black creator. So it's no longer a safe place for me. Chasing Reality is, in my opinion, I love my platform. It did some great things for me, but it's not a safe place. You know, we put ourselves here to be ripped apart by the public. So you would think on to your mother, your father, your auntie, it'll be, you know, still mean what you say, but iron it out a little bit differently. And I would think with you having your name attached to something, you can say how you feel, but there's a way that you do it.
Right.
Yeah, and I would definitely.
And I just don't feel like, in my opinion, that was us seeing her in her best life. So she felt like I wasn't the best producer.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You were an associate producer with me.
Right. So I would say,
we didn't tell the world any of that.
Last week, I think I mentioned like we were going to get into the critiques, and we have other things we want to talk about as far as the show too. We don't want to speak on this topic too long. But because she came out of the gate, I wouldn't have. Honestly, I'm on Instagram and I love watching other social media personalities and things like that. But I don't think anyone really, because I think she's a co-host on another show of another friend of mine in Atlanta, on Hey Mikey's show, and so I think I recognized her from there, but I don't really, I thought it was like a caricature of Ayanla Van Zant. So I'm just saying, oh, this is like a parody account or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I didn't have a chance to really see her until she started doing reviews and started doing interviews with the cast in Atlanta, and positioned herself as like the Ayanla of the group. And I was like, okay, well, now that she's actually going to be a featured part of the series, like the last season, we actually see her that little 2 minutes and her giving her piece of the last episode. Compared to how she was with y'all's cast, like she kind of assumed the role of like mother hen and like kind of. I felt like for your very first episode, for her to come out with such a negative kind of like
right.
You know, like now later down the line, if the sound, that would be one of the things like the sound. Like,
you won't get any of those complaints.
You know what I mean? Like, all the way. You know what I mean? Like that. We get it. That's just how it works. Plug and play and dealing with all those kind of things. But instead of focusing on the cast members and you know the storylines. And this is our first time meeting these people, and they're already arguing within the first 45 seconds. You know, like that kind of critique. It was very heavy on you, and as a viewer, it made me uncomfortable. I was literally watching my boyfriend. We was like,
I was like, what happened? Like,
right, what did he do? Like,
yeah.
did you turn him down for a date? You stand him up? Like, what happened?
You did say that last episode.
You owe Miss Van Zap some coin? You owe her some money? What did you do to her?
No, I don't owe Van Zap no coin. Child, at the end of the day, Van Zap is getting 2 separate checks from Q right now.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, it just struck a chord. Right. It just struck a chord. It just came off kind of. It's getting weird. And they're like, it's kind of weird now, guys. Do you feel that she's prepared, kind of setting the stage for her own, like a larger thing for her, like her own, like larger show? Or
so you feel that Imani was coming for me to prepare herself for her own show? Or
Well, I mean,
her own something of her own?
Her own something else. I'm sure that she's going to host a reunion. And then after that, is they're going to...
well, all right. Well, never mind.
Okay, maybe not. That's fine. I'm available if she's not. But the point is... But no, what I'm saying is like it just seemed very theatrical. I couldn't tell if it was targeted like she really felt that way, or if this was something that was supposed to add like theatrical, entertainment value to the viewing experience of your show. And we're gonna
tear my name down in the midst of that.
Yeah. It was really weird. I didn't understand it, so I was hoping that you'd be able to give us a little more clarity on it. But now that you've expressed to us that she's also an associate producer, and that means if the production's bad, then she's part of that.
You're part of it. But my whole thing is, when you brought up our whole conversation about the Joseline and Wendy, I think the difference is because she is involved in this show, and she's almost like y'all are teammates, like not teammates, but like y'all work together.
Same team, yeah.
So it's a difference with the Wendy Williams and the Joseline thing. But yeah, like I did not understand what she was talking about with the whole production. I think the production looks great. This is my first franchise of this channel. He got, Derek got me watching it. I'm like, yes, and I love it. I cannot wait every Thursday. Like I'm like, oh my god, like
yes,
I love it.
Yes. Must see TV now. So with these people, now that we're gonna move off the Q show, and we're gonna move into these characters.
Yeah.
And
I did want to say something really quick because Imani Van Zap said in her review last night that she spoke to me, and I wanted to let you guys know what she talked about because I'm going to talk about it in my review. I hadn't planned on talking about none of this, but since we talked, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So I did get a phone call from Imani the other day, and her critiques to me were she didn't feel like she felt like it was too much star power in the first episode. She felt like the Power 3 wasn't needed or Mr. Ray. And I was just like, but how do you take the baton and pass it over?
You knew what you were doing. You did it right. They do it on Atlanta. They do it on Married to Medicine.
Married to Medicine. Giselle and Robin did it last night on Married to Medicine.
Right.
Or no, it's coming up this week because I saw the promo for it this morning. Yeah. So I said that to say she called me the other day and she said it was too much star power, and I'm just like, everybody else enjoyed it. Everybody else loved to see the Power 3 together. So I'm just confused about what you're talking about. You're talking about your personal preference. You said you didn't like the still shot opener versus moving. Those are your personal preferences, but don't critique the show based off that. We had new confessionals last night.
Right.
Am I going to get critique for that? Or are you going to allow me to be a creator and create and bring something different to the table than what we've seen before? Why do I have to do what Atlanta did? Why do I have to do what Dallas did?
Right.
Anyway, moving on,
and also to that point, those are things that she could have outside of the still pictures, but the star power and things like that. That's something that could have been said during the critique, as opposed to literally like destroying.
What was the problem? What was the problem with it?
About so I guess she just felt like we saw too much of you in the first episode. If you were going to be a producer,
I was in there for 5 minutes.
Not even.
Yeah, it was like one scene, right? Yeah.
Right, like but it was a great beginning. Even though it was chaotic, even though it was very chaotic, I think part of the entertainment value of reality TV. Now, also as an LGBTQ creator, now I said earlier, we're only 3 episodes in. There have been 2 fights already. We've had a makeup, when they did the walk between the girls. But how prepared are you? I know you've probably seen the other episodes. Is this going to be another, another queer reality show where everybody fights all season, and even we wait all the way to the reunion and people not get resolved? Or is this going to be an opportunity for us to kind of see how queer people work together or work through their problems in a way that that brings real healing without having to wait for Imani Van Zant, like for them to be able to communicate better? I love the scene between Jayla and Alicia.
Can I add something right here? I think people have to be in a space of wanting that with another person. They don't need any Imani Van Zant. They don't need me. I read a Twitter comment this morning was just like, Q should have stepped in. That person has to want to resolve stuff with the other person. My job is to make sure everybody's safe and to make sure that things run smoothly and to make sure that talent is in place, production is in place. What those 2 talents go through is what they go through, and we just have to watch the story play out. We would love for everybody to kumbaya and all LGBT plus creators can get in one room and work together. It's not gonna happen. Right. It's not that it can't happen. It's just that this is what happens when you do put 10 big TV personalities at one table at one time, and this is what happens. So I will say that we're not like any other reality show, but what I can say is you guys will fall in love with the characters just like you did Chasing Atlanta. I just made a mistake in the last year. We're gonna make mistakes until we're 50, so it's never gonna be perfect. Name me one LGBT plus show that's out there that's perfect. Can we name an LGBT show? Period. We have Pose, but that's what I'm saying. Right? When we try to create, we tear down everything. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. That was good.
That is true.
Right. Okay. So
I could have came to Cali and laid in the bed. I could have been chilling.
Right. Well, we appreciate the work that you're doing, and because you also create an opportunity for these cast members to elevate their platforms and giving them more exposure to people who may have never heard of them. Some of the people that are on the cast I've heard of, I follow, like B Hawkins, like we know and love him and his work. You have other controversial people on there that that are there. I don't know what they do, but they're there, and I'm guessing their personality is what's going to carry them throughout the show. Yeah. And speaking to that point, like I was very curious about how you chose to put this group together, because I'm already seeing that it's going to be very cliquish. You only have like maybe 2 people who are trying to remain neutral and trying to like figure everybody. I love Hershey LaCour, like trying to just figure everybody out and just like keeping game. He reminds me of like how you and Oliver were with, like the new people. Like, I don't know none of these people. And if they come for me, right. I'm being nice to everybody until you show
I actually knew him from TikTok. Like I followed him on TikTok for the longest.
And then very popular on TikTok. Very popular on TikTok.
And then when I found out he was going to be on the show, I was like, oh my God, like this is really amazing. I would love to have him on the show, but
you let me finish my question.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I'm talking about the clicks, right? So with that being said, we can already tell that people are forming their groups, right? People are forming their safe spaces and they're finding their kiki buddies.
Yeah.
Which 3 do you see as being the power of 3 for LA?
They already trying to do that. They have been trying to formulate a power of 3 for LA for the longest time, and it keep being 4 of them, so I keep laughing. But who do I see being a power of 3? I don't know.
They can be Chasen's child if it's 4 of them.
Chasen, right? Yeah. I wouldn't really compare them to us. because we're not them. You know what I'm saying? But if
Okay.
I think,
You know what I mean as far as like influencing on the cast and like that
I
being
know
a
that,
full
but
group.
each group is
That.
has very talented people. They're all talented. Let me start there. But each cliquish or each clique has some very talented individuals on both sides.
Right. It just seems like you have a lot of conflicting hives happening. Like when I say hives, it's like so the power of three, watching y'all together, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, you have the three queen bees together operating in the group of everybody else. You know what I mean? It's like and y'all are like this and it's everybody else. So
Right. So I think the difference between them is
they have a queen bee and two or three people circling, then another queen bee, and then two.
It's like everybody, the queen and king, right?
Right, and then those people don't like each other. The queen bees are like, you know. And speaking of that, like the Andres and the King Paynes.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So tell me, is there a makeup on the horizon with them too? Because I feel like I'm gonna get tired of them beefing real quick.
I don't think you're gonna get tired of it though. It goes
for a long
level.
It goes to another level. Like a
Lord.
B from
like which one?
Like what Melly B? What's the name of that show? The Circle of New York. Kind of like he's like a Melly B style character where it's like it's gonna be a continuing thing.
I don't know, but it's funny you say his name. I just ran to him the other day, but it's not. Yeah.
Because that's what he gave me. Like when I saw him,
Andre and King don't like each other. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Andre and King don't like each other.
He gives the Melly B vibe. Like he comes off very, very. I'm sure he's a nice person.
Is this Andre you're talking about?
We're talking about Andre.
Okay.
I mean, Melly too, but I'm sure he's a great person. But the presentation just comes off as very obnoxious, right? It's like an obnoxious presence. And he can be very talented. He could be and can back up everything he says, I'm sure. But because of that particular presence or that character that he's presenting, it just seems like he's going to be, I won't say a target, but like he's going to always create situations wherever he is. Like if he's there, it's going to be a thing. You know what I mean? Kind of like T-Pain, it's going to be a thing. You know, if he's there. So we'll move on to them. I just know if there's going to be, you know, some of the queen bees, if they're ever going to be able to like come together and like.
Well, they do have some talking moments, and they do try. I'll say that. Andre and King, both two talented individuals. I think they're like me. You have to grow to love them. It's like if you don't know them, you probably would think something from afar. They probably would like, I don't know. But I feel like they are the type of individuals that you have to get to know. And they're very raw. We've seen raw characters. We've seen T.S.O. Kendra. We've seen Lauren England. We've seen Trey Howard on our platform. These are Nominees. These are some more of our characters. Right. So you may not like agree with them, but you love them. It's like you love Lauren. You love T.S.O. Kendra. You love Dominique. Like, well, I can't say you, but the viewers, the show, you know what I'm saying? And like when it's great to watch. So I said that to say Andre and King, yeah, they both have really big personalities. I will say this though about Andre. Andre was in the original cast with me.
Oh, good. He's the only one that was left from that circle, from that group? Yeah. I got rid of everybody. You got rid of everybody. So maybe he's occupying your space. That's why he feels like he's the Nene. I'm the foundation of this house. All you bitches just here, okay?
Child.
So that's cute. That's real cute. So like I said, we're very excited about this season. We look forward to some really good things. I also wanted to pick your brain. Like we're gonna wrap up here really, really quickly. I know you have work to do, and you know it's a pretty day outside. Kind of sort of here too. I want to go outside in my booty shorts as well.
I'm about to dive into a YouTube video, and then I'm gonna go outside though. We got to clear up all this.
All right.
Y'all gonna see the same outfit in this Chase review. I'm about to just click it over as soon as I get off.
All right.
The people only had one question left, really, honestly.
Yeah, I heard it here first.
Yeah. So does Alicia really work at Hamburger Mary's, or did we ever get to the end of that? These people work at Amazon. You work at Amazon. Ain't wrong with that.
Yeah,
What do
Alicia,
these people for a living?
I think she does currently work there, but I mean, she's gigging there. I don't think it's like she's like in the back washing dishes or nothing. I mean, she's on the floor being a drag queen. That's what she does.
Right. You know, we just don't want Lauren to come and be like, y'all just ain't got jobs. Like, what do y'all do?
Yeah, I think Alicia. Well, I think she currently does work at Hamburger Mary's. I think she even posted in her Insta story last night. I'm not sure. But as a drag queen, I think that's like a big big platform. Like as a singer in Atlanta, that's like singing at I forgot that singing thing, but it's like everybody's there, so why not? I think Hamburger Mary's in LA is like the place to go.
Your drag emporium.
Yeah, it's like the drag world, whatever. You know, it's where you go to see it. But anyways, let me say this. And I don't have no favorites. I'm not taking nobody's sides or nothing. But that is
I was gonna ask you who your favorites were.
But that's the purpose of this platform, is so that we all can see the grind of me sitting here talking with no mic to me being up there with Darren with sound walls and a whole mic, and like it's great to see the transition. So I'll just leave that at that.
So yeah, we're gonna deal with that. She worked at Hamburger Mary, so we got that.
Yeah, it's great to see the transition, and it's great to see people working and doing both. That's not shown a lot on this show.
Yeah.
So
I mean, also now another point that I wanted to make. I mean, it's not, this one isn't as funny, but I had a critique from the first show, something that still stuck with me, that I'm still dealing with, kind of like a two-part thing, and it has to do with the character of Quan. I keep calling these people characters like you wrote them in, but with Quan, and after the blow up between Andre and King Payne, when he went to the restaurant, his confessional about them, like, y'all both ugly, y'all both dark, like that comment, like that confessional, that one thing made me know for sure that I'm like, I don't like this person, and I'm not going to like them for the rest of the show, like, because I'm not a fair skinned man or whatever, and I was raised in the South, and like I dealt with like being called the dirt and like all those kind of things, and I was like, okay, his colorist remarks, are they going to be addressed? Because I was looking at the second episode, I was looking at watching the third one, and no one challenged him on that. They probably haven't. I don't know how y'all do y'all's confessionals, but I was also I'm looking in YouTube comments. I'm looking Instagram comments to see if there's going to be a moment of accountability for that, or we're going to see it throughout the show. And with you being a person who is, also on the melanated side as the producer of the show, how did you feel about that comment, and why was it allowed in the show?
It was allowed in the show because we say it to each other all the time. We call each other black ass and all type of stuff like that. So it's not like we don't say it. So I'll start there. And I'll say this about Twan. Twan is a great person, and I know a lot of people have counseled him and whatever they call themselves doing, and that's fine. You are entitled to that. I think where Twan was coming from is, I think he was actually sitting in a seat where nobody else was sitting. He was sitting there watching King Payne and Andre go back and forth and 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 back, like all night. And them shoot insults at each other, talking about each other's clothes, talking about, well, you dark and you dark and you this and you that and you this. Y'all know how we get to do. They just started reading. And so I'm going to be honest that when the question was asked to Quan in his confessional, I don't think that he was thinking, because we're on platforms and you work, if you've been out here, sometimes you know how to watch your mouth and you know how to filter it a different way. I felt like he chose poor words to line up his sentence. But what I think he was trying to say was, why are you guys sitting here going back and forth about each other when neither one of y'all is better than the other? Y'all both are this. Y'all both are this. Y'all both are acting ugly. Y'all call each other dark. Y'all both are. It is what it is. Y'all call each other dark.
So that gives it a different context, because we didn't see that.
Yeah, we didn't see that part.
We didn't hear those words being said between the two of them. So for there to be a cut of him calling these two people dark and ugly, like it left a very, very, very sour taste in my mouth. And so by the time we got to episode 2 and 3, where now he's sharing his story about his battle with coke addiction and, you know, how he came out of that and him moving into a space where he's launching this line of shirts with positive affirmations and like that. In my head still, I'm still carrying this visual image of him calling these two people dark and ugly.
Yeah, no,
so maybe the truth of the editing, but that's what I'm saying. Like it, the way that it was portrayed, it made it seem as though he's going to have a reckoning or an accounting for that, and hopefully he may be able to say it the way you said it or give it more context. But it just seemed like very nasty. Even with the same, and I said the same thing about you know, when Fran and Alicia were going back and forth, and he was like, "You're a man," and like that was very uncomfortable to watch.
But we do it though, and they be like, well, "Why is it in the show?" Because we do it.
Right. No, I get it.
And we have to open up, and we have to create, and it's cringy to watch, but it should be just as cringy when our friends do it in our living rooms.
And it is.
You know what I'm saying? If we gonna hold everybody accountable, and this is the purpose, and I feel like this is why Dario put it in there. Cause I'll be honest, when the edited version, I was like, ooh. But at the same time, it opens the floor for conversation. And me being I'm not fair skinned, I'm dark skinned. I'm a dark skinned man from the South. I took no offense to what Quan said. I feel like sometimes people are just, this is my opinion. I feel like sometimes people are overly sensitive and sometimes look for the first thing to jump on the bandwagon with everybody else instead of just, okay, well, let me give them a minute because we've all prejudged somebody prior to meeting them, prior to getting to know them better, or going off what somebody else said. And we're like, oh, girl, but so-and-so said something. I don't know, but I'm going to keep my eye out. We've all done it. So just give Quan the fair chance like we did everybody else. Troy yelled out transphobic stuff last season. They do it all up and down through Dallas. Sure. They do it all up and down through Atlanta. So I understand what people are saying, but at the same time, I have to stand up for Quan and say, I'm not standing up for him because he did say it. But what I will say is,
you understand that, well, because we do it, because of the platform that you all have now, like the reason I'm talking about, because I do believe that, I mean, it does happen. I work in the community all the time, like the vice president of a whole organization for LGBTQ persons, but the way we shape that type of conversation, right, and being stewards, because that's what happens when you step into this arena, especially when you're in the entertainment industry, and we already know how many opportunities are limited sometimes for openly queer people. You know how we're shaping the narrative, and just because it happens on Dallas, it happens in Atlanta, and especially in LA being a center for entertainment. The narrative that this particular show, your franchise, what not just outside of their stories, but what messaging do you hope to send as a producer of this show for other queer people that are watching it that will make them take something away that's different from watching Chasing Atlanta, or different than watching other LGBTQ reality shows where it's always fighting and it's the transphobic slurs and it's the you ugly and oh you broke and oh you doing meth and you like and all of that. What else do you want people to take away from this show that we haven't gotten anywhere else?
I think what I want people to take away is just feeling inspired. And right now, I know it's a lot of drama. And it's a lot of, the heat is on right now. Yeah. We ain't feeling inspired, y'all. We grabbing popcorn, we entertain. But I think that when we watch comments like Quan, or when we see people act out of character or be a character, when we go into our own space, we say, oh, that's not how I want to be. That's not how I want to be portrayed. I know to watch my own mouth. So yet, and I still stand on what I said, it's cringy, but when we watch it, we know what not to do.
Okay.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Quentin, for joining us. Oh, Q, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk to your mom. Thank you, Q, for joining us and taking some time to talk to us about your new venture. Tell everybody where they can find you, and if you have any other projects that we could be looking forward to. Do you have a third book in the works? You got any other, commercial? What's going on with you and where can we find you?
You guys can follow me on all of my social media sites right now at Quentin T. Harris. Everywhere. I'm on YT, Vigo, Twitter, IG, Facebook. I'm everywhere. Quentin T. Harris. I'm not gonna say I don't have anything coming up, but right now all of my focus is in chasing LA. As you guys can see, I'm being held to the fire, so baby, I can't even look at nothing else right now. I need to make sure everything right from here to the end of this season, because these people got on my damn nerves.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we love to see it, and we're proud of you. We're proud of the work that you are producing.
Thank y'all for giving me my flowers.
Right, we can't give you flowers. Okay, for the Black culture, for the Black culture. And make sure you guys tune in every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to Chasing LA, and you can find that on YouTube. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Darren, you got anything else you want to say before we rock?
No, I'm good. You done questioned me out. I was like, Lord, I'm like, look.
Oh yes, if you're gonna come and sit in the seat, we want to get all the tea. I want to squeeze all the tea off the leaves. That's what we want.
No, thank you so much for joining us. I know it was a lot trying to get you on last week, but we understand everything, and happy that you chose this show to. Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. All under the bridge. To the listeners, thank you so much for listening. I will not be on next week, Family Matters, but I will definitely get back to you. We might do like a little recap of part 2 of Real Housewives of Atlanta on Monday. So be up on that. And until next time, I hope you've enjoyed the convo. And I'm your host, Darren Green.
I'm Prince Derek Doll.
This is the Darren Green Show signing out. Bye, y'all.
If you like what you heard, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating. As always, enjoy the convo.
Okay, yeah, that's done. All right, let me